Hey everybody, Alisa Crimaldi with Crimaldi and Associates in RentSWFL, Florida, and today I'm here to give you 5 things to avoid when renting your unit furnished. All right, before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and press the little bell dinger so that you get all the up-to-date notifications every time that we publish another one of these awesome videos, so you can keep learning what took us 20 years to figure out. All right, so let's get started. 5 things to avoid when renting your home furnished here in Florida. All right, number 1, this is a biggie. It's going to kill some of you guys. Do not buy super expensive furniture. Don't do it. I'm not saying that your stuff's going to get messed up, but if it does, you're going to be heartbroken and you're not going to recoup that cost. So don't buy super expensive furniture. If you really want those creature comforts from home, then get nice bedding, get nice, your nice pillows, your nice throw blankets, all that kind of stuff that makes you feel more comfortable. Get those really nice throw pillows that you love. Z Gallery has these Mongolian pillows that I love, and I have them in all of my properties, but I would not ever put it in a rental because it would break my heart for that $200 pillow to get ruined, right? So what do you do to combat that? So whenever you're renting the property, put it in the owner's closet. So it's commonplace for homeowners to have an owner's closet that they lock off, that the tenants don't have access to. Generally, it's in an air-conditioned environment. So like if your master bedroom has his and hers closets, then you would take the smaller one, whichever one doesn't have the technology panel in it. If you have 3 bedrooms, maybe you take, the less used 3rd bedroom closet, or there's probably a pantry or something, whatever it is. You identify that one owner's closet, put those things that are super important for you personally to feel comfortable whenever you get here, put that there, and then get average stuff for the renter. That doesn't mean, get the cheapest $10 scratchy sheets, because your renters are going to be miserable. They're going to be calling us. We're going to be calling you. Just avoid that. Spend the extra few bucks and get like nice, normal, run-of-the-mill, nothing crazy. Number 2, do not promise your unit to other people during peak times. So what do I mean by that? So the holidays is a great example. So if you say you got a condo, you just closed on it, or you're about to close on it, all your friends are finding out. They're like, hey, I'm planning a trip to Florida for Thanksgiving. Can I borrow your condo? And they're asking you this in like May, right? Don't plan for that. Don't commit yourself to that if you are specifically buying this for cash flow. Now, if you're going to be in and out, you're going to be using it yourself, some owners plan to only rent it for season, and then anything else after that is gravy. If you're not super particular in those terms, then it doesn't matter. But for those of you who are trying to maximize your income, don't pre-promise stuff during the holidays or peak times like that, because that could bite you on the whenever we get closer, because those months, a lot of times, like November, December, a lot of times those months don't get booked until, let's say, August, right? Until it's closer to time, and maybe August, September, maybe people have a house being built and they need a temporary place because it was delayed or something like that. So or another great example would be like if somebody's looking for 5 months or 6 months or whatever. If you've promised your unit to Bob and Susie to use for Thanksgiving, and you've got this high paying tenant that wants it November 1st to the end of April, well, now you've just lost out on that really prime tenant because you promised to just let somebody use it, right? So I would suggest the more appropriate way to deal with that, if that's something that you're open to, like if you don't mind because you're not going to be in town or whatever, say, I can let you know whenever it's closer to time, and if it's not booked, then I'm happy to let you use it. So, you know, check back with me at the beginning of November, for example. Something like that, so that way you're not locking yourself in, because I've seen this happen before, and it really, you know, the homeowner can really miss out on a great opportunity just because of a couple of days that they promised to somebody else or for themselves or whatever. That being said, number 3 is for your personal use, be prepared to be versatile in your days. And again, I want to reiterate, these statements are really intended for the people who are trying to maximize their income. If you are just renting it to kind of cover your costs, like it's willy-nilly, like you're not really depending on this income, or it's not really that important to you, then ignore this stuff that, you know, you're thinking, why is she saying that? Of course, you know, of course I'm going to let my kids come or whatever, right? So this is specific to the people that either bought this as a business transaction, or, you know, the carrying costs are more than they feel comfortable carrying on their own, and they, you know, want that extra income. Okay, so, all right, back to business. As far as you being versatile with your dates, what I mean by that is, all the time we'll have people say, rent it as much as you can, and I'll just come down whenever it's not rented. That's a great way to be. You know, I think if it was my property, if I lived out of state, you know, I would probably take that approach. What that does not mean is in May, or let's say in February, there is a sale on plane tickets. And so you go ahead and you book tickets in for May and for July and for September, right? To come in for weekends in those 3 months. And they're non-refundable tickets, and here you are. Well, now you've kind of shot yourself in the foot, because if you call us and you say, okay, I'm coming for Mother's Day in May. Okay, well, now we know most rentals run from the first to the end of the month. That doesn't mean that they always do, but it's less likely to fill something, you know, May 15th to, I don't know, July 31st, right? So it usually goes on a month by month basis. So if you make these plans, then basically for 2 days, for a 2-day trip, you've precluded yourself from getting that place rented for the month. That doesn't mean it always happens like that. I'm just saying you need to be flexible. We, our most successful owners that like to use it themselves realize that sometimes it might be better, you know, if the property gets rented. So let's say you did book those tickets, right? To come for Mother's Day weekend. If you're open to, okay, you're coming for 3 days, 2 or 3 days, go to a hotel, rent something else, because you're still coming out ahead, right? So again, this is specific to the people that are looking for the income. You know, keep that in the back of your mind. Like, don't preclude yourself, because if somebody, you know, if there's a prospective tenant that needs it 3 months, and you've blocked it off because of those 2 days, now you've lost that 3-month tenant in the off season, right? So I'm just saying, don't limit yourself to not thinking outside the box with other alternatives if the place is rented. And of course, we're going to do whatever it is that you want us to do. So if you say, hey, that 3 days is my 3 days, I want to come use my place, you know, I want my family to be there, which makes perfect sense from an emotional standpoint, right? So if that's what you want to do, then that's great, that's fine. You know, we move on from that prospective renter and just keep looking, right? It's not a big deal, but to maximize your exposure, that's what I would say. Number 4, don't fly down here every single time a tenant moves out. Some owners get so personally attached to the property, which makes perfect sense, because, you know, I know a lot of you guys have worked all of your life. This is like your retirement. You're renting it for a very short period of time until you do actually retire so you can use it yourself. So from an emotional standpoint, again, it makes absolute sense that you want to come and check on the property. But if you're not that person, if that's not where you are in your specific situation, then don't fly down, because now you are eating away at all that profit. You know, some people get so hung up on they need to come down here and they need to do a specific inventory and they need to do the exit inspection and they need to do whatever, right? If you have hired somebody like us, or, you know, whatever, let us do our job. Don't waste your money to fly down here, because usually those people are literally here for a day or two while the unit turns, and they've spent all that money, and it just, you know, they get stressed out, whatever. Inevitably, you know, Murphy's Law, the cleaners wind up coming late to that specific unit. You know, it's just the way it works. And then it's all just a mess. So just, if you're worried about income, don't do that. Let us do our job, and, you know, come and check on it periodically in the off season whenever you're coming down here to see it, or whatever that is. Number 5, this has nothing to do with renting it or financing or whatever. This is just my personal observation that I've seen over the last 20 years doing this. Take it with a grain of salt. A lot of you guys probably will not like this statement, but I just want to caution you to be careful with allowing friends and family to use it. And I don't mean don't allow your friends and family to use your property. Of course, if you're not here, it's great for people to come and use it, right? But you need to present it in a way, like maybe you say, sure, you can use it if it's not rented, or you can use it, like leave that one little clause to leave it out for you, because, you know, it's unfortunate and it doesn't happen that often, but when it does happen, I feel like it gets a little abusive, in that, you know, there's some people will have friends that will come and they'll use it, and they'll use it for a weekend. And then they'll say, hey, you know, we're thinking about going down to Florida. Do you mind if we borrow your condo again? Well, that quickly becomes a pattern. And now they're using your property all the time and taking advantage of it. And then that causes a strain on the relationship. So I don't mean it like in the sense that you're hoarding your place or you don't want to share it with your friends and family. But I would say whenever you do loan it out to people, leave yourself an out where you can tactfully say no without making it a personal attack on the person, you know, whenever they ask to use it for the 3rd time or the 4th time or whatever. You know, just be careful with how you phrase that. So anyway, so those are my 5 top things to think about whenever you are renting your property furnished here in Florida. For more information or more great videos just like this, please be sure to press the little ringy button, like and subscribe to our channel. As always, don't hesitate to call or email with any questions. We're happy to help. We'll probably see you out at the pool if you're at one of our key communities. And don't forget to always ask for Alisa, because we've got 3 little kids and they all need new shoes. Until next time, we'll see you then.